And on a
And we are good.
freaky fractious Friday, Mikey and Vinnie are with you once again.
Yes,
He
yes, we are. Believe it or
he's gonna
not, they haven't
yeah
cut
he
us off yet.
and we don't even know who they are, but we can for the moment at least identify ourselves. He's New York Vinnie. He's in Seattle.
And he's Michael Knight. He's down in beautiful Los Angeles,
For the last
which
40 years, we've been talking as friends, colleagues, and broadcasters.
people have got nothing to do at 10 o'clock in the morning on certain days.
And it's not our fault that you have nothing to do because the new government will be there to fill the void with more of nothing than you've ever seen before. A different kind of
Oh,
nothing.
I don't think they're going to fill anything, Michael. I think they're going to void the likes of which we've never seen before. I mean, Canyon is going to have nothing on this baby. Time by the time we're all over, they're all over. It's all over.
And think of the
It'll be
money we can think of the money we can save, Vinny, if we cut FEMA and just have Donald Trump hand out paper towels.
yeah. I mean, why me anyway? Why would you want to help? First of all, he doesn't want to help, and this is what's going to happen for the next 4 years. Like, you come in with a whole different idea, and then this idiot does stuff. You got to talk about him for a half, but or for an hour, but this, this, this going on is so stupid that it's perplexing. And this is the idea of the whole thing is to confuse is to get people where they're thinking about one thing, but yet the minute he does something, now they're talking about him.
I'm here in North Carolina where there was a hurricane months ago. I'm here to see how the people are getting on, and they're telling me that FEMA threw them out like garbage. FEMA didn't help them. FEMA, they just come in and make things worse. They don't give money for relief. They kick people out of their homes. They take away what you have. If you have a shovel, they take your shovel. If you have a car, they take your car. That's FEMA, according to Donald Trump,
Yeah.
the dark and odious creature at the center of this black hole.
But now when you hit the streets and you talk to people there, um,
That ain't it.
you find quite a different story. They're handing out $1,000 checks to anybody who walks up. We ask for one. Um, handing out blankets. They're handing out places to get a shower, clothes, and all of the different things that people need to get back on their feet. Now, but again, Trump realizes he's dealing with some of the I don't want to say because that's not really right. Some of the less educated, less informed people in our country, in the South, and
And they are they're
in the
they are
deep
there,
South.
and they're there by the hundreds and thousands, and they are loyal supporters of him. They don't know what he stands for. They don't know what he means, and they love him for it.
Yeah, they just they buy what they hear on the radio. They buy what they hear on television. They buy what they hear from Fox. They buy it,
So
and it goes on, and he says it that they buy it,
they're
and
buying
so
crypto Trump.
you had a situation in the southeast where FEMA people were there, and you had people around chasing them out with shots,
Yeah.
threatening to kill them. Now, I don't know about you, but if I'm wearing a FEMA jacket and somebody says you're going to kill me, you know what? I pack up and I my FEMA mobile, and I take off.
You fill out those forms and get them to me when you can.
Yeah, you take your time. Not my house that's sitting in 6 feet of water.
And who started those rumors that FEMA was to be shooed away from the door? J.D.
Oh, it's
Vance and
Trump
the other. Yeah.
because they knew it was a place that they could divide the country. Now let me ask you this, Michael. We're a week into his presidency. Have you heard any fix in the situation in Springfield, Ohio? Have they stopped eating the cats? No, because it was bullshit.
Well, there
It
wasn't an
was
infinite.
bullshit.
They didn't say there was an infinite supply of cats. There was some dogs, and some people had ferrets, and they're not as tasty. You can't eat. You can't just eat those. They have to be prepared in a different way entirely.
We're a nation whose Bible turning into to the Lillian Vernon catalog. That's we are. That's people.
A collection of ignorance. What's your specialty in ignorance today? Well, we believe that the hurricane was sent by Joe Biden, and that the FEMA people are agents of the empire.
We're gonna
You
buy
know,
all our stuff from T because it's $5 cheaper. And don't worry about it if we're gonna buy it from a, a Chinese company that's collecting they can on everybody. I got my Atlanta Falcons jersey $5 cheaper.
everybody thinks that the tariffs that are coming are going to be paid for by the people who send us the goods. Not true.
Yeah, well, everybody thought the price would be down
Not true.
by
We
now.
pay
What are
the
we on
tariff.
Friday, right?
This is
Hey,
day
we're gonna lower the prices in America, and
day.
you and
Well,
you
he told,
and you and
and they believe
you
that.
believe that stuff.
They believe they've already been lowered. The price fix is in. We're saving money like we've never saved it before. He told OPEC yesterday to lower the prices, didn't he? OPEC, you got to bring the prices down. Bring them down. But what did they do?
I'll be raised.
That's down, isn't it? Prices increase, isn't that? Doesn't that mean they went down?
Well, it's
Shipping and handling.
shipping and handling, and for an additional $29.95. The only one that got rich this week, the only one that benefited this week, and this is me up. This economy, I have been bitching about this economy for this now 3 years, right? Oh, the economy sucks. The economy is this. Yet, how many people bought Trump coins on the day after the inauguration?
Is his face on the coin? Do you know?
I don't know.
If we could make them in the future without his face on the coin, I think that would
I'm
help with the
sure.
sale.
So you don't have the money to buy eggs, but Trump is selling out his coins.
They're gold-like coins. They're as close to gold as we could get them without being gold. But they're gold-colored, and they appear
Yeah.
to be gold, and that's close enough to gold for me.
Michael, maybe the experiment is over. I mean, man. Maybe the thing that we needed to have in this country is something that we were never given, and that we continue to get good education, the opportunity, good job, the opportunity for people to have some kind of restraint on their get as rich as you can schemes. Maybe that. Uh, maybe that what's put this country into a tailspin, and because it's going to come back. I mean, yeah, it's the first week in this, but here we get Thursday of the first weekend and talk. We now get Donald Trump to serve another term.
He's not coming to California. We don't know when he's coming. We don't know where he's landing. We don't know what
I
he's
thought he was
touring.
supposed to come this morning.
He's not in any contact with Governor Newsom, with any of his representatives, with anybody from the White House. There's been no contact whatsoever. All they've gotten is that he calls the governor of California new scum, and has told them that their mismanagement of the forest fires brought all this around. By the way, these were not forest fires; they're all brush fires. They're not out. There's another one burning in San Diego. We had two in Ventura and LA County yesterday. So, if with any luck, Trump will stray with all that hairspray that he wears. He will stray too close to the flames and pop up like a menorah from my ear, from my throat to God's ears.
Watch, yeah, yeah,
Direct.
yeah. I'm just, I was just about to say we wouldn't get that lucky that the hairspray would blow up on them. But here we are. I mean,
Day 4. We haven't even had a week. We haven't had a 7-day week with this idiot yet.
and it's coming apart at the seams.
You see, this can't hold. This is what I meant. I didn't know it was going to be this ugly and this ridiculous and this preposterous and this absurd. But because they are unable to govern, they're unable to organize, they're unable to put two thoughts together that make any sense, or two efforts back to back that help anyone or organize any department of their government. They're just, this is just as far as it goes. It doesn't get any better than this. It only gets worse. And now people in New Jersey are being stopped on the streets by police forces friendly to Trump, and they're being demanded that they show their papers. Right out of 1933 in Berlin. Papers.
What I don't understand,
If you ask the right guy in New Jersey for papers, you're going to get more than papers.
yeah, yeah, yeah. What I don't understand is how could any police officer in this country
Align himself.
look at Donald Trump after what he did? How could any police officer in this country believe in this guy after he let the number of people out of jail and gave them full pardons? People that assaulted police officers, people that killed police officers, people and police officers, people that threw bags of crap on police officers' lawns.
On the walls of the statuary hall.
How could you possibly how could you support this guy?
This is the guy, for some reason, that answers all their dreams for a superhero. He is just what they need to wake up in the morning and feel renewed and confident about America. He's just what they need when it comes time to ignore the laws of the land, to call a cop when you need one, to kill a cop when you don't, to order them the very next day to do your bidding, and the guys do it. Yes, sir, no, sir. I'm in the patrol car. Papers, please. Let's see your papers. No sense of irony, no sense of loyalty, no sense of their duty, no sense of the oath that they've taken, no sense of any of that. We're beyond that. It's day 4. We've already forgotten why we're here and who we serve and what we're about.
It's so sad. Uh, in so many ways. It's. We've gone through it a million times. We've talked, we've analyzed it, and I don't know what to say anymore. Really, I think you get to a point where you just don't know what to say about it.
The odd thing about it is, and we'll never get the answer to this, is how do they love him so dearly when he's so awful to them? How does he maintain this illusion of I'm helping you when he's hurting them? I love you when he hates them. I'm for you when he's against them. And all the results of his efforts, as negative and as useless as they are, mean nothing to them. They're constantly and amazingly able to reassure themselves that they made the right choice when they backed Trump, that he's their man, that he's the angel sent by God to save America, not from itself, but from the future. He's going to save you from having to worry about the future because he's erasing it day by day. He's taking the parts of the future apart. He's dismantling everything that was there to save and to support the nation and the superstructure of the society. One by one, they're all going. Next will Pete Hegseth in the Department of Defense. It won't be long. It won't be long unless one senator wakes up. Just one.
And what did I? He did know what he did this morning. And, uh, they found he paid money to some woman for. I mean, it seems like every day there's a new thing with that. But he's going to get approved.
Why did you pick him, Mr. President? Well, he's the worst guy I could find. And believe me, there's more that you won't uncover about this guy that absolutely rings my bell. He's my kind of guy. He reminds me of me.
And it's amazing. It's actually unbelievably, and but listen, we we've got to give him credit in one area. He knows nerves to touch. He knows where to hit people. He knows where to garner that support that he so so craves.
He's a fear and loathing kind of guy. He multiplies fear and loathing.
I mean, the guy now who's decided that he's going to go in 1965 civil and change some of that around.
Just move laws, pieces of legislation as he will. And no one will say, Mr. President, you cannot do that. Not a
Well, that's
soul.
it. Where are the Democrats standing up and holding press and screaming? Where are they? Are they still tails between their legs?
The advisors for Gavin Newsom are saying he's got to fight against Trump and everything he stands for, and others are saying you got to kiss his ass now, or we're never going to get through these 4 years. He's not going to do that.
Well, I'll be disappointed if Gavin Newsom kisses his ass. I mean, I don't know that there's a way you can work with Trump. First of all, you can't trust anything he says.
You can trust that it won't happen. If he says it won't happen. It's the Putin law. If Putin says it didn't happen. If Putin says it wasn't true. If Trump says it, same thing. Same thing. That's not true. Why? Well, you said it. You said it out loud.
Yeah. Well, we'll see when that drops. That's one that we haven't even talked about yet, and that's his love and his love for Putin, and how much love affair is consummating or going to be consummated in the next few years.
He made friends with the Saudis because they have their money, but the Saudis don't have an army. That's the problem there. You aligned yourself with a country that's just got money and a royal family that's.
Well, they can buy the army from us. We'll send it over there. I'm sure Trump will he didn't give a crap about sending soldiers over to die.
You got lots of princes in Saudi Arabia. We'll teach them all to fly. Prince pilots is what we'll call them. They're going to be fine.
No, he'll send our people over there. What do you think he'd send the Saudis want to fight?
There you go. Teach you
He'll
how,
send the
show you
people
how,
over there.
and then do it for you.
We're the policemen of the world, so we'll send our young men over there to die.
We'll send the disgraced members of the Pentagon, the ones that are be thrown out when Hegseth takes his seat in the big office.
You know what, Michael? It's sickening. It's giving me agita just talking about it. I just nothing. There's just nothing we're going to be able to do about it, except try to stay strong, try to keep organized, try to keep our heads above water, so that when the right time comes with people, it'll run again. I mean, right now, if I mean, there's so many things in this country that need to be fixed. And I think that that's what we have to focus on. Instead of sitting here and John Trump for an hour or a minute or whatever it is, I mean, we have to identify things in this country that need to be fixed, and maybe us, but the Democrats or somebody needs to identify the things in this country that fixed
And stay
and
focused on them.
and offer people a better alternative.
You have to fight back with the truth and with the solution.
I don't know that people want to hear the truth anymore, do they? Do they? Do people
It's
who
the
voted
greatest.
for Trump want to hear the truth?
No, they're beyond help. They're beyond help. We just have to wait for that generation to die. They cannot be helped. They've proven that.
But that generation is not going to die. That generation, young people. I mean, look at the numbers of people that voted for Trump. There was a whole lot of young people that voted for Trump. A
40
whole lot of
million.
black people. A whole lot of Spanish people. These Spanish people and taking civil rights away from black people, and they voted. How the hell do you fix that?
It is its own lesson. You asked for it, you got it. But I didn't know. Yeah, you did. You knew. We had no idea it was going to be like this. Yes, you did. If you had given it any thought
Enough people
whatsoever.
told. Enough people. This is what you get. This is what you're going to. He told himself. He stood there at his rallies and told you himself. I mean, you can't accuse him of lying because he told you what he was going to do.
They didn't. They just didn't believe it. They didn't listen. They didn't think it applied to them. They somehow thought that if you vote for Trump, then you can be a white guy like him.
I don't know. I don't know what they. I can't wait. Can't wait. What some of these people thought and what some of these people think now. Now that
It's not the first time this has happened. When the Allied troops and the Russian forces convened on Berlin, and the city was in ruins from one city limit to the other, the German people wanted to know, how's the Fuhrer? How's Hitler today? How's he keeping? How's our man? How's he feel? Oh, he committed suicide 2 days ago. No, that can't be true. I wonder how the Fuhrer is. He'd save us if he was here. Brezhnev was the new head man in Moscow. The old line people said, you know who they missed, who they longed for, who they wanted more of, who they wish were still alive and in charge? Stalin. They missed Stalin. He was their man. He was the leader. He was someone they could trust. He had their best interest at heart. And so we're just come around. Time has passed, but history repeats. Now the idiots that voted for Trump want to know how he's doing. What's he going to do in place of FEMA when he destroys FEMA, the Department of Education, and takes away government workers so you can't get anything done in this nation? And he convinces people that California is the enemy of the people and we're not going to help them. Going to go to North Carolina instead, where the people are thrown out of their homes by FEMA. When I'm through here, I'm going to destroy FEMA so that they can't help California. That's the best job I can do. You'll thank me for it in the long run.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a rude awakening coming. A very rude awakening. A very the Jonestown esque type of awakening.
You don't even ask them to
And
drink the Kool-Aid. They will make the Kool-Aid and drink it themselves without you having to give them instructions. They're on their
yeah,
way.
it'll yeah. I mean, I just you know, but for today, and we always hear that just for today. Uh, just for today, I continue just to be amazed, frustrated, and wondrous of how this guy can get away with the things that he proposes to do. Now I know a lot of it is just bluster. Take a lot of it uh, personally. That I take a lot of it, to heart because here's this country that imperfect is a beautiful place,
Beauty,
and
beauty like you've never seen before.
I just see it being destroyed. I just see it being taken apart.
4 days. That's all he's got. 4 days. 365 times 4.
Uh, Now that we've depressed ourselves, or I've depressed myself, we've depressed. There's other business going on. Is maybe that's the thing that we need was to. You see, that's it. I said that we need to pay attention to other things in life, but can't take your eye off the ball with Trump.
Give him 1 day and you're in trouble.
You can't take your eye off the ball. But there's a certain fatigue that's going on, a certain normalism of what he is.
Staying
Well,
on
let's
his
just get through the next 4 years. There might not be anything left after the next 4 years.
after 1 year at this rate. Day 4, remember.
The Chinese have all of those jackets that they don't use anymore. Those Mao jackets. Remember when those were so popular? And they'd be happy to sell them to us.
I would like the Nehru jacket if when that comes back, if you don't mind. Do you have a Nehru jacket?
Oh yeah. A green one
English racing
was a
green?
stunning kit. I think I paid $18 for it in the village.
I had a Paisley one, and I bought
Yeah,
it
it
at
was a
Polk State.
stunning jacket. I loved it. I used to have to hide it
Because your father was
outside
going
the
to,
house
your father was
because my
going to
let
do
me
so.
wear it. So I used to have to hide it outside the house, then put it on, go to school with it, and then my father said, your son's wearing a Nehru jacket to school.
Not that it's any of her business.
No, but teachers were like that in those days. They just just for the hell of it. Anyway, uh, maybe that's because that's what's coming. Everybody's got to dress the same. Everybody's got to wear it cross-eyed. Everybody's got to wear, uh, think a certain way, do a certain thing. Everybody's got to eat dinner at 5:30 at night,
Everybody's got to present their papers.
and everybody's got to present their papers. Well, you don't need papers. You're gonna have recognition technology.
They're going to eliminate that. It's going to go the
They'll
way of
just
FEMA.
scan you.
A chip in your neck like a pet.
Oh, I'm sure that they'd like to do that. But he was pointing at Bill Gates. Bill Gates saying he's going to do it. What's he give a crap about war at 2 o'clock in the morning?
It'll be Leon will do that.
Leon's the one who wants to know where everybody is.
What they're doing, what they're
So
thinking, and what they
his
feel about it.
Teslas can burn him. That was the biggest joke of the week last week was that he wanted to send 25 Teslas to Cybertrucks to L.A. What do you want to start more fires?
And what were they going to do? How are they going to do
Oh,
it?
they were going to be equipped, so they can power houses or use the internet in them. Have his
Could they be?
Starlink in them.
Can they be used to run down FEMA workers?
I'm sure they can.
Now I'm interested.
Apply to the office of Trumpism.
You can run down a FEMA worker and bill FEMA for it.
Exactly. Exactly. All right, let's move on to some other stuff. My stomach is starting to turn with this talk of Trump. Uh, Pete Carroll,
Pete Carroll's got a job, not in Oakland, not in L.A. He finally caught up with the Raiders, and they're in Vegas. Who knew?
in lost wages. He probably I don't know, maybe he'll win a championship there.
That would be his revenge on Seattle, and it would be noticeable.
Well, Michael, as I think about it, I I didn't really like that they let Pete Carroll go, or he retired, or whatever, or you want to call it. But it might have been time. There was a time I remember when Mike Holmgren had taken the team to the Super Bowl and he got to a certain place, and you were like, well, I don't know if Holmgren will take this team much further. There's another step that they got to go, but maybe Holmgren isn't the one to. Well, maybe the same is true for Pete Carroll. Maybe the same is true for all coaches.
I think it
That
is.
that they have a shelf,
Yeah,
and after a certain amount of time, the that they say nobody was to anymore.
I keep calling fantastic plays, but you guys don't do it anymore. You guys don't execute for me anymore. You guys don't convert anymore. You guys don't get the first downs. You don't get the pass plays. You don't have a running
Yeah,
game. You can't diversify.
you don't do what I tell you.
And when you get to a playoff game, you don't show up. You just don't show up. You like Baltimore. You come to the game, but you don't show up.
And maybe, just maybe, it was Pete Carroll's time here. I mean, the fans had turned against him for a large part. Uh, Russell Wilson didn't have great things to say about him back when he was gone, and and it just seemed like everything, like the new the people running the Seahawks, Jody Allen, John Schneider, seemed like they wanted something different, wanted a new voice.
Well, along with Pete in Las Vegas for the Raiders, they also have new executives. They did a cleaning of the house, and they only have themselves to blame if they can't put a coach and the executive team together to be competitive. Because one thing they've had trouble with, Vinny, and this never works in football, is they've had trouble at quarterback. They went from
Yeah,
Carr to Jimmy G, and they don't have a frontline quarterback. They just don't, and they don't have a draft pick that's going to give them an obvious shot at one of the new kids coming out of college. So they're going to have to do some trading. They're going to have to make a move and get themselves a first line quarterback. And I think they should do it to shake up the. I'm not suggesting that they make a trade with the Jets, but I am suggesting that they make a acquisition of a front line quarterback. Maybe Sam Darnold. Maybe somebody who's shown themselves in the past couple of years to be an offensive powerhouse. And without that, they can't move on to the next stage of their evolution.
yeah, and I was just thinking to myself, Pittsburgh has kind of soured on Russell Wilson a little bit,
Not Russell Wilson.
but
He tried.
stranger things have happened.
He tried it with the Seahawks. He tried it with Denver. He tried it with Pittsburgh. And I'm getting the message.
Well, Pittsburgh. I mean, excuse me. Here he was successful. Um, Pete, different system than Russell Wilson. wanted to play, but strange things happen in football.
Pete's concentration, his specialty through all the years has been defense. So get an offensive coordinator who can do the plays for you, but put your expertise where it's always been. If you have a strong defense, if you have a killer Raider defense, then the quarterback must go down and he must go down hard. Let's see some of that.
Well, it'll be fun to watch because now Seattle fans will be able to watch the Raiders for entertainment purposes only. Because still a lot of Carroll fans up here. Still a lot of people that that like Coach thought that he got a bum deal here. So it'll be interesting to watch. Again, we got two games on Sunday: the AFC and the NFC championship games. You got why do I just get this weird feeling about the Commanders?
It's not a weird feeling. They've shown themselves to be worthy. I still think that the Eagles have it, but I'm just guessing.
Yeah, on paper, you'd have to say, but man, I tell you, the way Washington ran
Took
that
up
ball,
on the Lions.
and just confused the crap out of not every team they faced. What they're doing faces every team. So you got them, and then you got which I think is the game is going to be the best game. Uh, Buffalo and Kansas City about a quarterback matchup.
Well, it's,
I mean, Allen
they're
versus Mahomes.
they're playing in Kansas City, right?
Yes, they are Kansas City.
Well, you know how
By
the
virtue of 2 record for Kansas City versus a
referees,
13 and
the
4.
NFL referees are going to get liquored up and do what they always do with Mahomes, and I feel sorry for Buffalo, but they're not going to get the calls. I can tell you that right now going in. I'll tell you that for nothing.
Well, it'll be a zoo, that's for sure. I mean, you're going to have Taylor Swift there. You're going to have it's going to be the stands are going to be a zoo.
Yep.
It's going to be the atmosphere is going to be electric.
Buffalo doesn't travel well as a competitor team. Not to Kansas City, Missouri.
Well, it'll be fun to watch. That's for sure. I mean, if there's a game that I want to that I think I want to that all year I've wanted to see. This is the game. Um, yeah, like Kansas City go back by virtue of their third straight Super Bowl. I think that would be an incredible accomplishment. But who in the Scott Norwood would like to see Buffalo go back.
Well, just to break it up, to present a field goal with 3 seconds left. I don't know how they're going to win it, but
Well, I don't think kick in there anymore, Michael. I mean, I know there's a lot of old kickers in the league, but I think he might be gone. But his name will definitely come up. Norwood, of course, the guy who missed the field goal.
wide right, wide right.
Yeah, right. Um, but it'll be wild. That game. I mean, that could be. I think everybody. Here's the thing. What's going to be interesting is, and that is a CBS game, if I'm not mistaken. And so you're gonna have a things at work there. I mean, this may end up being one of the most viewed NFL ever because you have teams that the country is love it. Who hates Kansas City? Who hates Buffalo? I mean, they're not two teams that I don't, I don't know. Anybody hates either one of these teams.
The heartland of America.
Yeah, I mean, Buffalo is a great working class city, and say that it's seen some hard knocks and hard times, but has come back,
But
and
Donald
if it
Trump
knocking
said he wants.
knocking at the door, knocking at Kansas City is Kansas City.
Didn't Donald Trump say he wants to get rid of Buffalo, New York? Isn't he
I think
gonna?
he did. He wants to give it to Canada and then take Canada back. Um, Now you also have a legion of little girls who are going to be watching this show.
Oh yeah.
They don't know much about football, but they're there to see Taylor Swift. They're there to see how many times they can see Swift in the stands.
And they know that Mahomes has to throw to 15 has to throw to 87. Then we get a relief shot of the press box, and there's Taylor.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
87
So
has to catch it. If he drops it, then you get the different kind of relief shot, the horror and the stricken look on their faces.
so it could. I mean, this could be. I mean, I don't know if it'll break the Super Bowl viewership records, but I think this easily could be the most watched D championship game. You have to get the record is 55.5 million viewers.
And that was
That was last year Ravens game from M&T Bank Stadium in Baltimore. Uh, so
that's been kind
it'll
of
be it'll
cold in
be
Kansas
interesting to
City.
see how many.
It's going to be a night game in Kansas City for them.
Yes, their second game, the
So
second
the
game.
cold is going to be a factor. Not like it was in Philadelphia last week, but still a factor. Now Washington will be playing at Philadelphia in a noon game, so that's 3 o'clock Philadelphia time. That could be a factor too if this bad weather in the East continues, if it prevails. I hate seeing games decided by weather.
Yeah, but you know what? It's the other way. I like the weather. I
You like the
like
fumble.
the
You like the fumbles and the drop
football.
balls
To me, is a game that's supposed to be played in the snow and in the elements and in the weather.
and the mud.
Yeah, I mean, give me that anytime. Uh, uh, I know that everybody likes the dome stadiums and the indoor stadiums and this and that and the other thing, but I don't know, man. There's something about the Packers and the Raiders going at it in the mud. And guys getting up and you can't tell the numbers on their uniform.
You can't tell who they are.
Can't tell who they are. You have to hose them off.
Is that a
The
cowboy or
guys
what
sitting
is
there with a
that?
hot water hose on the side, and then as soon as they get out from under the hose, they freeze up.
Who the hell
That's
is that guy?
football. Ball.
I don't know. We never got to look at his number. I don't know who it is.
So
Well, you want to play pick 'em? Go ahead, pick 'em. Washington and Philadelphia, Vinny.
I'm going to go with you know what? I just think the Commanders are in command. I know everybody's probably using that, but I'm just going to go with the command. Go with the command. They're on a roll. I don't think they nobody's told be beat yet. It's always good when people don't believe that they can be beat. So I'm going to go. I'm going to go with the Commanders, and I'm going to go with the Bills. Bills.
Oh, good one.
I
Well,
got.
I'll join you on the Commanders, and I'll join you on the Bills. I think it's time for a little equity across the teams. I think we need new players in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, I'd like to see. Well, yeah, I just yeah, I want to see the. Kansas City would be nice to get the three from Holmes. I like him; he's a good guy. But just want to see the Bills go back. It's been a while since they've been there.
And
Uh,
nobody's got a harder luck story than the Bills in the with the Super Bowl. Nobody can match that.
and I just think of my friends from upstate New York that I know and that went to school at SUNY Buffalo and the time Buffalo. And just the kind of football fans they are. I mean, these people go out in as cold. I mean, it gets cold there like you wouldn't believe.
Like never before.
Yeah, they set a new record for cold every week. But these people go out there in the cold, man, and they get lubricated
You get
and out there and sit there and watch their beloved Bills.
And
And
the Bills have lost a lot of Super Bowls, but they never stink. They make one error. They have a
right,
windblown
right,
kick. They do something like that, but they don't get blown out. They don't stink.
right. They deserve Bills deserve another shot at it. And I just think that it's time for them time for them to prevail. Like you said, new blood. Let's see some new blood.
So we're picking the Washington Commanders to meet the Buffalo Bills in the Super Bowl
Probably not the NFL's dream
in New Orleans,
in New Orleans.
the town that told FEMA to go stick it.
Oh, I got to. It is Lent this year. Uh,
Hey, Vinny, what are you driving?
Wednesday, March 5th. Oh, so we're not that far away. When is the Super Bowl?
The 5th of February.
February. Okay, so it's a month after. It's a month after. Yeah, it's an early Lent this year. What am I driving? Oh, Mikey, I'm glad you asked what I'm driving because I'm driving a slick little machine. I'm driving the Genesis G80, which is a
G80.
very sharp uh, uh, sedan. It's a luxury sedan. It's you know nobody's making cars. Everybody's making SUVs. Everybody's making nobody's making cars.
You can't buy a four
And
door, right? You just the
yeah,
four door is a
four
rare
doors
thing.
and a trunk and Genesis, which is a part of Hyundai, has committed to making cars. And this particular car, it's in a dark blue interior. It's it's just a wonderful car to drive. It makes you feel elegant driving it. There's few cars that you get into, and they make you feel good driving them. You want to be wearing cologne when you drive the car. You want to have a sharply creased suit or a nice pair of slacks with a sweater.
What about an ascot? Would you wear an ascot?
I don't think I'd go. I'm not an ascot guy, but I could see where if you wore one, you would want to put an ascot on to drive this car. It's that car. It has of luxury options in it, luxury equipment, things like voice memos in the dashboard. You be driving along, and you think of something, your business. You hit a button, and you just start talking, and it takes the voice memo.
Cool. So is it a nicely appointed dash?
Beautiful dash. Got a widescreen top, and then you have all your controls down a stack. Uh, the only thing that's a little quirky in this car is it has one of those dial transmissions.
Oh
Just
no.
the dial instead of the gear shifter. And then on top between the dashboard and the gear shift lever is dial to change channels on the radio. And now twice
You put your
I
car in
grabbed
reverse.
the gear shift lever to change the station.
Well, that'll change the station, all right.
Yes. So that's only my only real car. A little bit yesterday. I'm going to take it on a nice little road trip over the weekend, and get some more feel for it. It's a powerful car. I think they're pushing around 390 horses, something like that. Interior as well. I mean, let's face it. Genesis has brought up from the best model to what people in the industry think is the best luxury car.
Really? That was quick.
And yeah, within the space of 10 years, and their both their SUVs and their passengers all have an element of fit and finish, of elegance, of you know things that make the driver feel good about driving the car. That's what this is about.
Can you
And
name
so
another? Can you name another four-door sedan that's on the market this year?
well, I got the Lexuses, you got the Mercedes. I'm talking about luxuries now, but the Americans are out of the four-door sedan market.
Yeah, past that.
Um, with the ending of the Malibu this year, I'm trying to think of anything else that you can buy as an American car that's a four-door sedan. And I don't as I'm thinking Crown Vic is gone. The little is gone. Yes. I don't think this is an American car. Now you can buy. Kia has a couple of great four-door sedans, economy sedans. Has a couple. Toyota, obviously, Corolla, and the Camry and the
Hmm.
Crown. They seem to believe in the four-door sedan. I recently drove a Volkswagen Jetta, $23,000, and it feels like it's worth $33,000.
Wow.
It has a ton of equipment in it. Anti collision stuff. Blind spot monitoring stuff. I mean, it has a ton of stuff that make the car feel like it's worth more than $23,000.
We've been
Enjoyable
making
car to drive.
been making cars in America since Henry Ford and all the experimental cars that were made before that. Why can't America make a car? Why can't anybody make a car that has no blind spot? It's it's smoke and mirrors to all these years later to tolerate the fact that cars are built with blind spots. It shouldn't be
Cost
there.
the design because you could build a car at a blind spot when you had a check and because the force of the car was taken by the chassis. But when you have a unibody or the body and the chassis combined,
Hmm.
a lot of that in the car has to go into the roof, and so you have to have pillars in the car, especially in the front, is stronger.
Supports, yeah.
So it's got to support that roof for rollover protection. It's got to support that roof for the twist of the car, the torque on the car. The only way you can do that is to have larger pillars. at the back of the car. You don't have them in the front. You can't put them in the front. Although they do on some models do put them in the front. You have to cut those. Um, that extra thing that looks like a vent window, not in the cars. But to keep that thing from twisting and for getting out of shape, you got to have that support in the back. Now, again, I'm not a car or anything like that. That would seem to me to be the reason that it's tough to eliminate blind spots. I mean, you got people that do it. Um, they they figure out a way to not eliminate it with a more expensive piece of glass that handles torque in the back or different things. But they're few far between.
Saw a guy on Facebook the other day claiming why he, with all the money he has, is never going to have a Ferrari. He says you can't get in them, you can't get out of them. If you get in them, you can't see. You have no visibility. You have no relation to the other cars around you on the road. You're driving a fortune that is attracting interest in itself that's negative to the safety on the road. And you can't protect yourself against all the other maladies around there because you can't see, you can't navigate, and you have no visibility of the threats that present themselves to a car that low on the of
I
its
would agree. Absolutely that. Many. I drove a couple of months ago. I drove a McLaren. It's a $400,000 car, and you can't see out you can't see out
no,
the right quarter panel to back up. Thank God it's got cameras, or else you wouldn't be able to back up in the car. And it's exactly that. You're squished in the car. It's a nice car to drive
once you get in there.
on the open road. You get in there and you get out on the freeway, you get out on the open road, and boy, it hums, man. It's like it holds the love. It's the way it goes through curves and everything gives about as much confidence as you can get driving a car.
However,
But you can't see out of it. You have to really manipulate yourself to get into it. And if you're a big guy or an older guy, it'll give you
it'll
it'll challenge you to get into it.
fight you every inch of the way. I'm getting in this car. Well, the car's got something to say about that, and the car's saying, "No, you ain't."
You have to slide in a certain way. I mean, having the vet for so long, I mastered how you do it. But the way that if you're wearing a dress, it doesn't look pretty. Luckily, I'm not often caught in dresses, so I'm okay. Okay, but it's kind of an undignified way of getting in a car.
Well,
So it's
what else have you got planned for your show tomorrow at 11 o'clock?
11 o'clock. We're going to talk about the new traffic light, not traffic light cameras. They're putting up scanner cameras in Linwood.
What kind of
So
cameras?
with the light, that camera scan your license plate, and it'll shoot back to police headquarters
Papers.
or the
Show your
ticket
papers.
headquarters if you have violations, if your car is stolen, if you have. So we're virtually headed toward that world of Russia that we talked about several years ago, where there's a camera on every turn. It's taking identification. It's taking the car you're driving. It's telling people what time of day you're passing the spot.
George Orwell, 1984, all over again.
It's here, and nobody sees anything wrong with it.
Let's see your
So
papers. These are my papers. No, we say that those are papers, but they're not yours. You're coming with us.
yeah, yeah. So it's it's again. Now some people will say, I don't know who those some people are, but I'm sure that there are voices that will say, well, they're catching stolen cars,
Yeah.
and yeah, yeah,
You,
that's
if you're innocent, you have nothing to fear.
If you're innocent, yeah, that's exactly. If you're innocent, don't worry about it. The problem is we find out time and time again that somebody makes a mistake, somebody transposes it, or somebody mistakenly pulls over another red Corvette that's on the hot sheet, and all of a sudden we got problems.
He kept
You know?
saying that it wasn't his car, so we shot him. You would have done
Yeah,
the
I
same
mean we
thing.
didn't shoot him hard, but we
No,
shot him.
shot him.
We tried to shoot him easily. We aimed for his legs.
Well, we're day 4 of the Trump presidency. By the time we meet on Monday, it'll be day 7. And all I can say is pray for America in the meantime, Vinny, and keep below the radar.
Pray for us all, man. We all, boy, do we need prayers, you know. But I'm sure I'll get caught. People saying you're nuts. Is Trump in control of the country? Trump is doing this.
Well,
Trump is doing it.
as
Yeah,
Ernest Reddy said in Shout Bamalama, Lord, no prayer is going to stop that bear.
yeah, yeah.
You
He's
got to
got
run
the
for it.
people on
Doom,
his
doom, doom,
side.
doom. What's that?
Then Trump has the praying people on his side, man.
Yeah.
All right, Mikey. Listen, you have a good weekend. What are you doing this weekend? Grandpa duty?
Sending things back to Amazon. I bought a new pair of hearing aids that were just the worst possible audio. I'm telling you, stay away from that company. Really
What
awful.
about the new Apple earbuds? Have you tried it?
Well, those are for monitoring audio. These are regular hearing aids.
Well, look,
Yes.
the Apple ones had hearing aids in them.
Wasn't aware of that.
Yeah, check that out. Apple's newest earbuds have hearing aids in them. I mean, I don't know how they work because I just used to go through life not hearing things. Makes my life extremely easier. In many ways.
People think my name is like Charlie Watt, you know? People think my name is Watt because that's all I say. What?
Yeah, huh. Huh? Maybe that's what we should be. We should change our what? Huh.
What? Or what, huh?
What? Your new morning team. What?
What?
Huh.
That's a great promo, by the way. Great 30-second promo.
Huh.
Save that one. Put it in rotation.
Let's save that one. All right, Mike. Monday for Lord's will in the creek don't rise.
Love you, Vinny. Take it easy.
Love you too, Pally. Take
Have a
it
good
easy.
show tomorrow.
Peace, love, and Shevitz. Thank you all for listening too. Always appreciate it. See you on Monday for drive time at 11 o'clock. Can't miss that.